to young people, not so much because I have real good news for you, but to tip you off a little bit about what you're inheriting. There's been a few folks that went before you that dealt with your government, our government, and have done a very good job. I think what you're getting is not a good deal. Because you're going to get a lot of government, and you're going to get a lot of bills. And I think there's a very good reason for you to be interested in politics and in economics, because it's in your own self-interest. There's been some disappointment, in the Republican Party here in the last few years, certainly with myself and others. I first ran for Congress in the 1970s because I was concerned about big government and spending, inflation, and we had tough times in the 1970s. And yet the same conditions exist today, but they're much, much worse. But I was in Congress then for essentially 7 years, then went back to my medical practice, but then decided after the so-called revolution of 1994, I thought, well, maybe I could come up here, maybe more serious about cutting back the size and scope of the government here in Washington, D.C. And I was re-elected in 1997. I was slightly in the different district. But I've come back. The truth is, if you look at what's happened in the last several years, with the conservative Republicans in charge, government has not shrunk. I think it's time we have people in office from the presidency on down that's truly dedicated to shrinking the size of government, And if you happen to be sympathetic to the Constitution and think that we in office should follow it, then we would have to say that there's a lot of things that should be voted against. And that although I've never relished the title of being called Dr. No, if they're doing the wrong thing, I guess no is not a bad idea. So, but during these last several years, especially when we had control of the presidency, the House and Senate, you would have thought that we could have done a better job. But if you look at the areas of entitlement, we've done a lousy job. I mean, we have become the party of big government. I think our party has been acting like the Democrats. I mean, we have introduced and passed the largest expansion of entitlement programs in the last 50 years, or at least since Medicare started. That was the prescription drug program. And then you're all too young. You don't remember when Ronald Reagan was running on getting rid of the Department of Education, which we should do. Last few years, one of the first things off the block after the new administration came in was to double the size of the Department of Education. We haven't cut back on any subsidies to our agricultural industry. We have passed things like McCain-Feingold, which has taken away your basic rights for free expression of the political spectrum. And if you look around, there's just way, way too many things that have happened. Now, it is true that the Republican Party is in charge, but I think the Republican Party has been taken over by a group called neoconservatives, and they're not the old traditional conservatives, which is what I believe in. Yeah. If you look at the history of where the neoconservatives come from, you realize they were a breakaway from the Democratic Party. And they believe in big government overseas, and they believe in big government here at home. And if it's any wonder, we have big deficits. And there's no signs that they're going to back off. It just happens, though, that it's easy as a politician to sell big government, because that's how people get reelected. Vote for the programs and brag about what you sell, brag about what you bring back in. Just think of that highway bill not too long ago, which was epitomized by that bridge to nowhere in Alaska, and things like this. It was just totally pork barrel operations that went on. And yet the spending never seems to slow up. I believe there's a very precise reason why it's easy for politicians to do this. by voting to spend it. You don't get voted to raise taxes. You should be getting voted to raise taxes because if you're conservative, what you want to do is you want to lower taxes for everybody. So it's not any wonder, though, that the members of Congress and the executive branch always expands government. But how do they get away with it? How do they do it? How do they pay for it? Well, they don't have to pay for it right away. Taxes are way too high already. Nobody wants higher taxes. Nobody really pushes higher taxes. So taxes ought to be raised, but the spending continues, so they borrow a lot of money. The government, you, me, everybody, we're the government. The money is borrowed, but it's not a couple dollars. You know, last year they talked about, well, we're really cracking down on the deficit this year. It's down to $285 billion, and we're supposed to feel good about it. And then, if you look at it, what you borrow from Social Security and the kind of thing that you'll be paying into for a long, long time, if you look at that, the real